ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Through this story, the greatness of Prana Shakti is brought out in this section. All the 10 sense organs, Jnanendriyam and Karmendriyam, as well as the 4 Antahkaranam, all of them are able to efficiently function only because of Prana Shakti. And if we extend this to the Samashti level, each Indriyam represents one Devata. The total Jnanendriya Shakti is represented in the Jnanendriya Devatas. Similarly, Karmendriya Shakti is represented by Karmendriya Devatas. And Antahkarana Shakti is represented by Antahkarana Devatas. And Prana Shakti is represented by the Samashti Hiranyagarbha Devata. Therefore, extending this rule to the macrocosmic level, we have to say, all Devatas are also functioning only because of the Samashti Prana Shakti. Just as individual organs are functioning through Vyashti Prana Shakti, similarly, all the Devatas are functioning because of the Samashti Prana Shakti alone. And if you have to put in scientific language, we should say all the powers in the creation, whether it is the power of raining, or whether it is the power of the planetary motion, or whether it is the power of the gravitational pull, or whether it is the power of the atoms, whatever be the power in the creation, all of them are because of one fundamental basic power known as Prana Shakti. Remember, this is Hiranyagarbha Devata alone is looked here as Prana Shakti. And when we are worshipping Prana Shakti, we should remember we are not merely worshipping the material power. If we worship only the material power, we will become materialistic. Then it cannot come under religion at all. So we appreciate the glory of the total force or total power, but the power pervaded by the intelligence principle, the Chetana Tattvam also, which is unseen. If you worship solar energy, you are a materialist. If you worship Surya Devata, you become a religious devotee. Solar energy does not include the intelligence behind. But when you worship Surya Devata, it includes both of them, the intelligence principle as well as the solar energy, the materialistic or the material aspect also. And therefore, Prana Shakti is not mere material, brutal, inert force, it is not, but it is Hiranyagarbha Devata. That's what I said in our puja also. We worship Prana Shakti as mother. That's why I was telling in the last class, a sloka I forgot, but now I remember. Raktam bodhis tapodollasa daruna sarojadhirudha karabjaihi pacham kodanda mikshu ganam aligunamapyankusham panchabanan bibrana srikapalam trinayana lasita pina vakshoruhadya devi balarka varna vasatu sukhakari pranashakti paranaha. So Devi Pranashakti, it is said. That means Devi indicates the intelligent principle. Pranashakti indicates the power behind it. If one is Apara Prakriti, the other is Para Prakriti. If one is Maya, the other is Brahman. Therefore Upasana is on both of them together. And there is another reason also why we take both of them together. Why we are not taking the mere power alone. Because you should remember, Upasana must be always on an Utkrishta Vastu. Worship must be always of an Utkrishta Vastu, something superior to us. If you are taking Shakti as a mere force alone, then it becomes an inert principle. And as an inert principle, it is never superior to a human being who is a Chetana principle. Therefore, as a Chetana principle, I can never worship any natural force alone because it is after all inert. However powerful it might be, a Chetana, an ant is superior to even the most powerful nuclear energy because of simple plus point that it is Chetanam, whereas the other one is inert. Therefore, if you are taking sheer natural force, it is Nikrishtam Achetanatvat, therefore we cannot do Upasana upon it. But if you take the power along with the intelligence principle, it becomes Hiranyagarbha Devata, and as a Devata it is superior, therefore we can do Upasana. So therefore, what I want to emphasize here is, here it is not a mere worship of Shakti, it is Shakti along with Shivam, that is Shakti along with the Chetanam. Shakti includes Shivam, Shivam includes Shakti. Okay. Now it is said here in the 6th mantra, Ara iva rathana bhau prane sarvam pratishthitam. And here the word prana refers to samashti prana. Samashti prane sarvam, the whole cosmos with all its varieties of powers, is based upon the prana shakti alone. And the example we saw in the last class, Ara iva rathana bhau. Just as the spokes of a wheel is supported by the central part of the wheel, the hub. The spokes are many, hub is one. Powers are many, prana shakti is one. And the very strength of the spokes is gathered from the central hub alone. And therefore, Araha iva rathana bhau. And not only them, and the following things also, Richaha, Yajugumshi, Samani, the entire Vedas. So it represents all the Vedas. The Rig, Yajus and Sama are the names of the types of mantras. So it is not reference to Veda alone. If it is referring to Veda, then the fourth Veda is left out. If it is reference to mantras, all the four Vedas are included, because four Vedas have got only three types of mantras. Appo the types of mantras edutunduduna, then you have included all the four Vedas. So Rig means Rig mantraha, and Yajus means Yajur mantraha, and Sama means Sama mantraha. Atharvana Veda also consists of only these types of mantras. Either it must consist of Rig type of mantra, or it should consist of Yajus type of mantra. Therefore, if you take the type of mantras, four Vedas are included. And what are the types of mantras we had seen in Mundakopanishad? So, Atha, Apara Vidya, Rigvedo, Yajurveda, Samavedo, Tharva Vedaha, Siksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, there I had explained. So just I will remind you, Rig is the metrical mantras, Yajus is prose type of mantras, and Sama is mantras set to music. And all the four Vedas have got only these types of mantras. And Rigveda is called Rigveda because it predominantly contains Rig type of mantras, not watertight compartment. Rigveda also contains Yajur mantras. Yajur Veda also contains Rig type of mantras. But it is called Rigveda because predominantly Rig type of mantras. Similarly, Yajurveda also. So, Richaha, Yajugumshi, Samani, and not only that, Yajnaha. So, the rituals prescribed in these three Vedas. Veda Pratipadito Yajnaha. Na kevalam Vedaha, Veda Pratipadito Yajnaha. And these yajnas have meaning only when there are some people to perform them. Lina, what is the use? Isn't it? So, Brahmacha, Kshatrancha. So, Kshatra refers to Kshatriya Varnas. All the Kshatriya Jati people are together called a Kshatram. It is a collective noun, like people, etc. Kshatram is a collective noun, group of Kshatriyas. Similarly, Brahma refers to the group of Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are those who perform the yajnas, and Kshatriyas are those who protect the yajnas. As we see in Ramayanam also, one performs and another supports the yajna, financial support, security support. In terrorist, then security must be given. Because in those days also, Subahu, Marita, terrorists were there, remember. And therefore there must be paramilitary force. So that is all the job of Kshatriya. And they cannot perform the yaga, they are the Brahmana. So therefore those two are enumerated. And what is the Tatparyam here? It is not the enumeration. The Tatparyam is all of them are supported by Prana Shakti. Without Prana Shakti, Brahmana cannot perform yaga. without prana shakti, Kshatriya cannot protect the yaga. And therefore, prana is the fundamental force of the creation. Continuing. Prajapatiscarasi garbhe Tvameva pratijayase Tubhyam prana prajaha Tvima balim haranti Yaf pranai pratitishthasi. Continuing, remember all these are prana stuti, remember, which has started from number 5 onwards. Up to the end, it will be prana stuti alone. Tvam prajapatihi. You alone are Prajapatihi, the Lord of creative power. Because remember, Brahma is creator only because of creative power. Vishnu is a protector only because he has the power of protection. Similarly, Shiva is the destroyer because of the power of destruction. These are all only 3 divisions of one prana shakti. Prana shakti alone becomes as Ichha shakti, Kriya shakti, Srishti shakti, Samhara shakti. They say Panchakrityam, Panchakritya parayana. So Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Avirbhava, Tirobhava, or Nigraha, Anugraha. Remember, each one is a peculiar faculty. Every faculty is a power. And therefore he says, Prajanam Patihi. The creative power you are. And what you have done, this total creative power alone is now available in every individual. So every being has the capacity to reproduce its own species, which is again a peculiar power Shakti alone. The power of reproduction, the power of propagation of one's own species. And not only that, this power is again divided into 2. One in the male, another in the female. And therefore, here he says, Garbhe Tvameva Charasi. In the body of the male and female. Here Garbha should include both of them, Pitru Garbhe and Matru Garbhe. And Garbha here means within. So within the male also there is the creative power. And within the female also there is the creative power. Only when both these creative powers join together, a child is born. And this creative power is Huna. Tvameva Garbhe Tarasi. So this comes Prajapatistarati Garbhe Antaha Ajayamano Bakudha Vijayate. Enga Purusha Suktam. So Prajapatihi San. San potukanam. Prajapatihi San Tvam Garbhe Charasi. And you alone are born as every being. But Ajayamanaha, there it is different context. But here it is purely the creative power that is said. And not only you are moving within the male and female as the creative power, tvameva pratijayase. You alone are later born. In the form of the parents, because every child has got a form according to the parents. Many characteristics are hereditary. That's why the word pratijayase is used. Prati means pratirupam. Matuhu pratirupam. Pituhu pratirupam jayase. Some children look like mother. Some children look like father. And if there is a big family with many members, one alternative or even in the color sometimes you can see fair, dark, fair, dark, fair, dark. So therefore, you alone are born in the form of, in the mold of the parents. So pratirupaha san jayase, you alone are. And not only that, he prana tubhyam tu imaha prajaha balim haranti. In fact, all beings are giving oblation to you alone. How is it? So the offering of the bali is the activities of each sense organ. You have to remember, Atmatvam, Girijamatis Sahadara, Prana Sharirang Griham, Pujate Vishaya Upabhoga Rachana. Therefore, every perception, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they are all offerings given to whom? The power called Prana Shakti alone. Because even if it is in the form of food, it is going towards the digestive fire only, which is again another aspect of Prana Shakti. And therefore, every moment's activity is an offering to Prana Shakti alone. And how do you know that? Because of the offering, Prana Shakti alone becomes stronger. And when the offering stops, what happens? What is its sign? Prana Shakti declines, and even a person perishes if all of them stop. And therefore, Prajaha here refers to Indriyani, Indriya Rupa, Praja. Tubhyam Prana, Prana is Sambodhana. He Prana. Because you should remember, this is prayer by whom? The sense organs. To whom? Prana. And therefore sense organs are addressing Prana here. He Prana, all the people are only offering oblations to you. And because of what reason? Yaha Pranaihi Pratitishthati. Because you are surrounded by various indriyas. Here pranaha means again indriyani. So indriyas are called prana because every indriyam has got one power. The eyes have got, as I told the other day, darshana shakti. Ears have got shravana shakti. And each of the shakti is nothing but the manifestation of one prana shakti. And therefore essentially darshana shakti also is prana, sparshana shakti also is prana, and therefore every indriyam is known as pranaha alone. That's why in Mundakopanishad, sapta pranas prabhavanti tasmat saptarchisha samida sapta homa. There also the word prana is used in the sense of sense organ. And that is also very clear because when the food is not given and the prana shakti is not strengthened, darshana shakti weaken. So, because of the hunger, the eyes do not function. If you are hungry, ears cannot listen. All of them happen, and therefore they are prana is the upadana karanam, and all the shaktis are karyam. Therefore, upadana karana rupa prana vyatirikta indriya shaktayaha na santi. Nartham. Prana vyatirikta indriyani na santi. Prana seva karanatvad indriyanam karyatvad. Continuing. Devanamasi vanhitamaha Pitrunam prathamasvadha Rishinam charitam satyam Atharvangira kamasi. Devanam Vanhitamaha asi. Vanhi means the one who carries the oblation. Vahati iti vannihi. And here tamaha is the superlative. You are the greatest carrier of oblation among the devas, which is none other than Agni. So here it is referring to Agni Devata alone. So you are the Agni Devata, the greatest carrier of all oblations. To whom? To the respective Devatas. When you say Indraya Swaha, you offer it only into Agni. Remember, Agni is the courier service. Anywhere you offer, it will just go there and give it without committing a single mistake. The wrong address, returning without delivery, ellam kadayadu. Enga ponalum seri, you will carry it. And not only that, Pitrunam prathama swadha. And you are the first oblation that is given to the forefathers, the Pitrus, the ancestors. So this is based on the ritualistic tradition. That is, before performing any big puja or worship at house or at home, initially they have to do Nandi Shraddham. Any function, whether it is Vivahaha, whether it is Upanayanam or any karma, before that there is a ritual called Nandi Shraddham. Generally they say Nandi. Nandi annaki gadudva. Nandi refers to Nandi Shraddham. In fact, because of this, the word Nandi has become an idiom for anything that is done in the beginning. In Malayalam and all, they very commonly use this is a Nandi. Even for a Prime Minister's visit, if they do something as a preparation, they call it Nandi. So Nandi means anything that is done in the beginning as a preparation. It refers to a Shraddham. It is a worship of the ancestors. Because any good karma is done only for the greatness of the family and for the perpetuation of the Kula Dharma. When the son or daughter, anybody gets married, it is only continuation of the Kula Parampara, Kula Dharma. Therefore, naturally, we want to receive the blessings of those forefathers, because of whom now we are what we are. And not only that, if we remember them, we will try to retain our dignity also. And therefore, the blessing is asked before everything. And therefore, this offering is always the first. Even before Indra or Agni or any Devata, the first offering goes to the Pitrus in Nandi Shraddham. And the offerings to Pitrus is technically known as Swadha. Pitrunam annam Swadha ityuchyate. So the offering to the forefathers is technically known as Swadha. Only say Swadha, Pitrubhya Swadha. In the case of Devatas, what do they say? Indraya Swaha, Yamaya Swaha, Prajapataye Swaha, Agnaye Swaha. But when it comes to forefathers, they should not say Swaha, but they have to say Swadha, Pitrubhya Swadha. And therefore Swadha refers to Pitrunam Annam. And here he says that Annam also is none other than Prana Shakti alone. So Pitrunam Prathama Swadha, you are the first offering given to the forefathers before the performance of any ritual. And not only that, Rishinam Satyam Charitam Tvam Asi. So this line is interpreted in two ways. First is the literal meaning itself is taken, Vachyarthaha. So Rishinam Charitam means what? The activities of the Rishis, the way of life of the Rishis. And what type of way of life? It is Satyam Charitam, which is the truthful way of life, which is a valid way of life, which is a purposeful way of life. Because their way of life is useful to them as well as others. Nammalodadella Asatyam Charitam, neither useful to us nor for others. Adhikathan special adjective Satyam is given. Because when we take the balance sheet on our last days, we find that nothing has been attained. That's why he said, Ikached avedit ata satyam asti, nached ikha vedit mahati vinashtihi. So Rishinam Charitam is Satyam. How do we know? Because those Rishis we still remember. Vishwamitra's contribution or Atharvangirasam, their contribution, Atharvangirasa Pucham Pratishtha Tadapyesha Shloko Bhavati. They have all contributed. So Rishinam Satyam Charitam. And as a representative, two Rishis are mentioned here, Atharva and Angiras. So you are also the purposeful activities of Rishis like Atharva, Angiras, etc. This is the first interpretation, which is not Shankaracharya's. Okay. So now Shankaracharya's interpretation is, he takes Rishi as sense organs, Indriyani. How can he take like that? No. He gives the reason also. He will not just blindly write. Rishati Janati. Because the sense organs are the one which perceives things. And Rish means to perceive, to know. And sense organs are the knowers of the colors, the smell, etc. And therefore they are called Rishis. And Atharvangirasam is adjective to the sense organ. Atharva is also another name of sense organ alone, which means Atharvayati, Pushnati, iti Atharva, that which sustains the life of all beings. Sense organs are very important for the sustenance of the living being. Because whether it is eating or whether it is seeing, for everything what is the basis? Sense organs alone. So without sense organs, a person cannot survive. Therefore, Atharvayati, Pushnati iti Atharva, the nourishers. the sustainers. And Angirasa also means sense organs. How? Angi means Deha. Why Angi is Deha? Because it has got many Angas. Angani Asya Santi iti Angi. So Angi means Shariram Deha. Rasaha means essence. Sarabhutaha. So Angirasaha means Anginam, Dehanam, Rasaha, Sarabhutaha is Angirasaha. And sense organs are the Sarabhuta of all the people. And therefore both Atharva and Angiras refers to the sense organs alone. And their Charitam means all their functions. So the functions of all sense organs who nourish the individual and who is the essence of the individual is also Prana Shakti alone. Okay, continuing. Indrastvam Prana Tejasa Rudrosi Parirakshita Tvam Antarikshe Charasi Suryastvam Jyotisham Patihi. All simple, you can understand. He Prana, Prana is Sambodhana. He Prana, Tvam Tejasa Indraha Asi. By your power, because Indra is the Adhidevata of Balam. Indro me bale e sritaha balagum hridaye hridayam mayi. So Hastayor Indraha, etc. we have seen in Tattva Bodha. So Tejasa, here Tejas means power. By your power, you are none other than Indraha himself. And Rudrosi Parirakshita. So normally Rudraha is given as the destroyer. But here Rudra is described as Parirakshita, as a protector. So from this it is very clear that Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are only divisions that we make. Really speaking, Brahma is also doing all the three functions. Vishnu also is the three. And Shiva also is the three. It is one deity which we are naming as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Essentially, there is no difference at all. Otherwise, if you read Rudram, in many places, the prayer to Lord is for protection alone. Mano mahanta mutamano arbhakam mana ukshanta mutamana ukshitam. Mano vadhi pitaram mota mataram priyamanas tanuvo rudraririshaha. Manasto ketana yemana ayushimano goshumano ashveshu ririshaha. Viran mano rudrabha mito vadhir kavishmanto namasa vidhemate. These two are very important prayers, because in this protection for all the things, from all dangers are asked for. Even Amarnath trekkers can chant this. Because not only the parents should be protected, I should be protected, my wife and children should be protected, even the child in the womb. Manaha arbhakam mana ukshantam uta mana ukshitam. Ukshitam means the child which is just growing in the womb. It may be 1 month or 1 week, even let that be protected. And not only that, let my vehicles, pets could include it, because Rudram envisages that we will have all kinds of dogs and other things after some time. Therefore, let them also be happy. And of course, the famous mantra is there, Trembakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam, where Lord is worshipped for what? Immortality, not as a destroyer Lord, but the protector Lord, the Lord who is auspicious. Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. natu nashakam, parantu pushti vardhanam. That is why the very word Shivaha means what? Shantam Shivam Advaitam Mangalam alone. And the very word Rudra refers to what? Rum, Ruhu na Dukkham Nartam. Rum Dravayati iti Rudraha. Ruhu na Dukkham. Ru dhatu, Ru Rauti to cry. Rauti Rutaha Ruvanti. And Ruhu means Dukkham. Alal Nartam, crying Nartam. Dravayati, Dravati to go. Dravayati means to cause to go. The one who makes all sorrows to run away from you. That is Rudra. So here it is the protector Rudra. So when the Rudra is destroyer, enna solluvenna? Appa enna pannividuvom? Rodayati iti Rudraha annuduvom. The one who causes you to cry. Ore veda rendu vidhama solran paanga. Rodayati iti Rudraha. Because at the time of death he makes you what na? Cry. If not you, other people. Either you cry or the others cry or both cry. So, Rodayati iti Rudraha. Here it is not Rodayati. Natu Rodakaha. Parantu Anandakaha. That's why it is said Parirakshita. You are the protector. Urvarukamiva bandhanat. Parirakshita. Rudraha Tvam Asi. Tvam Antarikshe Charati. So here also two interpretations. Either you can add Tvam Antarikshe Suryaha San Charati. You are moving in the Antariksham. Antariksham means Akasha as the sun god. Or you can supply Vayuhu and say Tvam Antarikshe Vayu Rupena Charati. And Suryaha becomes separate sentence. The second seems to be better because rendu varadhu. Tvam Antarikshe Vayu Rupena Charati. You alone are the Vayu which is moving about in the Antariksha. And Tvam Eva Suryaha Jyotisham Patihi. So you alone are the sun god who is the lord of all luminaries. So the idea is what you know. From Brahman onwards, we have got so many cause-effect series is there. And when you take the final effect, it is nothing but the manifestation of its cause. And that cause is manifestation of its cause. And that cause is the manifestation of its cause. Therefore, every cause can be praised as the effect. You can praise the clay as you alone are the pot, you alone are the plate, you alone are the mug, you alone are the muck also. Ellame needa. So this is glorification of the clay. Then suppose you go further. This is for the grossest mind. You start with clay stuti, mrustuti. Don't think it is a joke. There is a suktam called Mrittika Suktam. Mrittike arame devi enmaya dushkrutam kritam. Mrittike e brahmadastati kashyapena bhimantrita. Mrittike dekhi me pushtim tvai sarvam pratishtitam. Mrittike e pratishtite sarvam. Tvai nirnida mrittike maya hatena kritena papena gacchami paramangatim. Mrittika Suktam is there. So there the idea is what? You go to the immediate cause, that is Prithvi. Then thereafterwards, once your mind has reached a still subtler level, what is the cause of Prithvi? Jalam. Therefore you glorify Jalam as everything in the creation. And once you have advanced a little bit more, you say Agni Tattvam is everything. Thus Agni Suktam will come. And a little bit more advanced, you go to Vayu. In fact, we are in the Vayu level. Prana Shakti ingiradhu enna anna? Vayu. And then we will go to Akasha Stuti. Because each one of the later ones are the cause of the former one. And from there we go to Maya Shakti. And then ultimately, if we survive through all these stages, then we go to Brahman. Mayyeva sakalam jatam, mayi sarvam pratishtitam. So here now we are in the fourth stage, Vayu Stuti we have come. And therefore the Stuti will be similar. What is that? You alone are the cause. From you everything else is coming. Because of you everything survives. And into you alone everything resolves. The praise is the same. And even the example like Arayiva Rathana Bhav. This can be used for Prithvi. This can be used for Jalam, Agni, Vayu. Ultimately to Brahman. But the only thing is, the Stuti of all other things is only Apekshika Stuti. But the Stuti will fit 10% only to Brahman. But to Prana also it relatively works. To Agni also it relatively works. So that is why the Stuti is similar. So you are Vayu, you are Agni. And in the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, we have gone to still higher stage. There the Ishvara we have gone to. Okay, continuing. Yada tvam abhivarshasi athema pranate prajaha ananda rupas tishthanti kamayannam bhavishyatiti. So here it is praised as the Varshaha, the very rain. So we know the value of rains very much. So he says, He Prana, Tvam Abhivarshati. So you alone are raining, pouring in the form of rain. Abhitaha Varshati. 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters. So we are not able to fill up any one of the lakes, but one full-fledged rain means the whole Red Hills, Indapakam, Andapakam, all will be filled up. Remember how much power must have gone into it. Hey Prana, you are the power because of which the rain is pouring down. Here also Prana is Sambodhana. Hey Prana Shakti. And when the rain comes, what happens to the people? Atha ima prajaha ananda rupaha tishthanti. So all the people become full of ananda. So not only that is why triptiriti vrishtihi balamiti vidyuti yasha iti pashushu jyotiriti nakshatreshu. There is a triptihi in the vrishti. Where does it come? Triptiriti vrishtihi. It comes in Bhriguvalli of Taittiriya Upanishad. So vrishti has got triptihi in it. That is said here. Ananda rupaha tishthanti. Why people are happy? Of course, drinking water will be available. And not only that, annadvai praja prajayante. From that alone, the food has to come. Therefore, kamaya annam bhavishyati. There will be sufficient food. Kamam here means yatheshtam. Venduvolam. As much as a person wants. So, kamaya annam bhavishyati iti hetoho ananda rupa. This is the thinking of the people. Therefore, it must be with an inverted comma. Kamaya annam bhavishyati. We will have plenty of food and therefore the price of the rice will come down. These people won't do. The people will create problem, Even Bhagavan gives. People will create artificial scarcity and all those problems. But normally, kamaya annam bhavishyati iti chintaya. With this thought, ananta rupaha tishtanti. This is one interpretation. Here also another interpretation they give. Yada tvam abhivarshati imaha prajaha pranate. Pranate together is taken. All the people survive. So pranate means they breathe. That means they survive. Because the very living depends upon the rain. So otherwise, this year or the previous year, how many places there was famine? Africa and every place there was famine. How there is a global problem if the rain is not proper. They say that the temperature of the earth is increasing, a lot of problems are there. And if it goes like that, the very survival becomes a very big problem. Therefore, he prana, yatha tvam abhivarshati, tatha imaha prajaha pranate. Pranate means pranante. Pranante means prananti. Prananti means jivanti. So this is also Shankaracharya's alternative interpretations. More we will see in the next class. Hari. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.